Alright, ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back. It's me, Eddie, again, and I hope you guys are doing alright. So it's been a minute since I posted one of my usual review videos for a game, and so I figured I'd update you all on the situation with this kind of content. So number one, I haven't abandoned them or anything, it's just that there have been so many games coming out around the same time, most of which are titles that I've been interested in and have therefore been playing through all at once. And as a result of juggling between these various games, I haven't had the chance to finish any of them at the pace that I normally do. And that admittedly made me a little worried that by the time I do end up beating one of these games, a lot of the interest surrounding them would die down and a lot less people would be interested in seeing a review. So you may have noticed that a solution I came up with has been to make short impressions videos that are based on my first couple hours playing a game upon its release. This idea has been working quite well for me so far on my channel, and these videos have been thoroughly enjoyable for me to make. And while they obviously don't encompass the scope of a full review video, I feel like they still provide a nice way for me to at least get across a good portion of my thoughts on a game as soon as I possibly can, which is ultimately what matters to me most. So far I've made 4 of these videos and definitely plan on making more down the line. These are here to stay. But now that I've actually finished a game in the midst of all this craziness, that game being Armored Core 6, it obviously begs the question of, am I going to make one of my traditional review videos on it? And like I said before, I haven't abandoned the idea of making review videos, so the answer is a resounding yes. There will be an Armored Core 6 review. However, it'll come with a couple of changes from my usual review format that warrant the making of this update vid. So, the first change you can expect is that the review videos are going to be a lot snappier, meaning they'll likely be much shorter and more concise. My current review videos on the channel not only feature my critiques of the games, but also introductions to them, as well as, anecdotal details about my personal history and experiences with the games and their franchises. And given that I've been largely covering this kind of information in my new impressions videos, I don't want to regurgitate any of it when I make their proper review counterparts, which I feel should act as an extension of the impression videos. Now, the next and biggest change that you can expect with my review videos going forward is a complete overhaul to my rating system, which is actually something that I've been thinking about doing for a long time now. As you guys may know, I currently rate games on a pretty standard out of 10 numerical system, and while that's been pretty fun, in recent months I've found that it's been getting more difficult for me to settle on scores that I would assign to the games that I've been streaming on Twitch. And I think the reason for this is because I'm realizing how the idea of boiling a game down to a single number doesn't do it justice, at least for me. Now, I'm not trying to diss the system itself or the folks who utilize it, but I think that for me it just doesn't feel right anymore, and the games I play I feel deserve verdicts that are a tiny bit more comprehensive. So after a lot of thought and brainstorming, here are the new ratings that I'm proposing for the games we play moving forward, including a brief description of each one. I think they're pretty fun, and I'm excited to both share them with you and incorporate them into my videos going forward. So naturally, we're going to start from the generic masterpiece tier to the disaster tier, starting with must play masterpiece. As you can tell, I'm trying to use alliterations as much as possible in order to, like I said, make the title sound pretty fun. But yeah, this one's pretty self-explanatory. It describes a game that's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece that you've pretty much got to play. Next up, we've got a game that I redonkulously recommend. That's right, not ridiculously, but redonkulously. Also, the alliterating is getting stronger, oh god. But again, this is another self-explanatory and steaming title meant to strongly encourage you to try a game out. While the game it's describing may not be a masterpiece, it's one that I would nonetheless strongly encourage you folks to give a shot. Then we've got another rung underneath redonkulously recommended, which is a game that I recommend with reservations. Now, this may not be super self-explanatory, and it's probably the most nuanced of the ratings. So the word reservations here implies that while I do recommend that you try out the game, it may have certain distinguishing qualities that I want you to be aware of before you try the game out, given that they may strongly influence your opinion of the game. Although my reservations won't necessarily have to do with qualities of the game that are negative ones, I want them to more likely have to do with qualities that are kind of neutral that, may make or break a game for you personally. But alright, what happens when they are necessarily negative, when they actually are negative, right? Well, that's where we descend down to proceed with caution. With this verdict, I think that the game is okay, but it has some problems that you should be cautious about. And with this one, would I recommend the game? All right, moving on. Next verdict, and probably my favorite one, I feel like I don't need to explain why, is where a game makes me live up to my name. Holy shit, that was irritating. 9 out of 10. Don't recommend. And last but definitely least, we've got a game that I 10 out of 10 don't recommend. But yeah, that's the new rating system that I've devised for the channel going forward, you guys. I had a lot of fun coming up with these new ones, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to testing the waters with these new ideas come the Armored Core 6 review, which I should be posting soon alongside the remainder of its Let's Play episodes that I've got lined up. And of course, these ideas and overhauls don't have to be set in stone by any means, and if needs be, I'll continue to refine and change things around down the line in order to make the best possible videos that I can for you guys. But that's it for my developer update today, folks, and I hope you enjoy the patches going forward. But until the next one, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, keep on keeping on.